What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with the next forecast video, and I'm sorry this one's getting out to you late. It's been a crazy week. Just got back from vacation and just sort of getting caught up in real life and trying to get caught up in Clash stuff has just proven to be a lot. Trying to show the house, all kinds of stuff going on. So again, apologies. And unfortunately, today I'm flying solo. Ash and Powerbank traveling. Powerbank over in Finland. Ash went to San Francisco. So it's just poor old Jake today. And I bet they both wish they could be around to rub it in a little bit. Obviously, especially Powerbank after they picked up that big win last week over Reddit Alchemy when I picked against them. So shout out, congratulations to the WHF guys and girls. Awesome job. Good war. But let's get into this one pretty quick, and then again, I'll try to get caught back up on videos starting in next week, guys, and maybe even next Sunday have a coffee and clash for you guys. We'll see. But let's look at week 5 predictions. Oh my goodness, week 4 did not disappoint. Some very interesting wars, outcomes, whatnot. We'll touch on those as we're going forward. And then obviously again at the start of next week after this weekend's wars, we will do another stock recap, see where everybody's sort of standing on that. So we did not get one this week. First war is Dark Looters versus Elite Gaming, and I still think the smart money is on Dark Looters, but obviously Elite Gaming stringing together a couple of wins, one last week over Cold September, so not saying that they couldn't do it. I think they're finding their feet. They did get a big win over Immoral Thieves the week before that, so I really would not count them out of this war, but I still say the smart money is on Dark Looters simply because they are the powerhouse that is the Dark Looters family. So probably still betting them, but I would love to see Elite Gaming come in and shake things up and get the win there. So good luck to those guys. Next one, Clantanamo Bay versus Power COC. And this one's going to be close in my mind. I went back and forth. I was getting ready to sort of go down the list and mark my winners, and I got to the second war, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure who's going to win this one. But I think Clantanamo Bay is going to edge this one out. I think they're also sort of finding their footing in the league, putting up some better performances. A tough loss last week against Faked Wargasm by only 1 star, but I do think they will get the edge over Power COC this weekend, but we shall see. Would not be surprised if it went either way. Pretty much a picket war for me. Next one, Suomi Kotkat versus Cold September. And the woes continue for Cold September, unfortunately, getting rolled over by Elite Gaming last week. So I do think that it is going to be Suomi Kotkat picking up the win, even though they are also coming off a loss. I think they're going to probably be a little much for Cold September to handle, but I would love to see Cold September start to make a rally here mid-season. We'll see if they can get it done. Faked Wargasm versus what was supposed to be Beast Mode, but now replaced by The Lost. And really an interesting situation because The Lost coming in and getting thrown right into the fire last week against Dark Looters, taking the loss there, but a good showing nonetheless. So I do think this is going to be competitive, but I'm not, I just haven't seen enough of The Lost to really bet on them yet. That's no disrespect to those guys. I think they really did well coming in the first week against the previous champions. But I am going to go ahead and bet on Faked Wargasm for this weekend. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be competitive, but I think they'll get the win. But good luck to both those clans. PWC versus Annihilate. Another one that in my mind is basically a picket match. I think it could go either way, but I'm giving the nod to Annihilate. I think it's going to be super close, 1 or 2 stars. Annihilate did get the win last week over Midwinters, and PWC got edged out by Kantia, so sort of just based off previous week's performance, maybe momentum, but I could see this going either way. I think it's going to be close. A lot of close wars this week. Next one is 6 Schlitzes versus Emphatic Elite, and this is another one that I sort of was like, wonder who's going to get this one because both teams coming off a loss. Obviously, Emphatic Elite taking that loss to OneHive last weekend, and 6 Schlitzes going down to Mariana Trench. So that was sort of like, okay, who's going to bounce back? Who's going to come back stronger? And in my mind, I think it's going to be 6S. I think they're a super strong clan. They had a rough week. It happens, but I think they're going to be a comfortable win here. But we'll see. Emphatic Elite, obviously, don't count them out. A good clan in their own right. Then you guys know the next one, OneHive versus Midwinters. And looking for OneHive to continue here. I mean, we stumbled in week 3. I mean, it was just the way it went. Had a nice bounce back war last week over over Emphatic Elite. So I think we're going to continue on with that. I think we're going to have if we perform, going to have a comfortable 3 or 4 star victory here, but we'll see. Midwinter's obviously a good clan. You never know if we sleep on them, could bite us in the butt. So hopefully guys at OneHive are pumped up and ready to continue on. You know, the mid-season is kind of that grind. I mean, that's when everyone sort of gets wore out. It's like the hype is slowed down a little bit. Now it's just, you got to focus every weekend. So we'll see who's got their A game. Mariana Trench versus Kancha. And again, just sort of based off that momentum, 2 clans that I think are pretty closely matched skill-wise. Both clans coming off a win, but I think Mariana Trench is going to get done. I really had a lot of faith in them early in the season, and I think it just took them a while to get into their groove. But after that really good-looking performance with 115 stars over 6S last week, I'm going to go ahead and bet on them. But again, 2 clans that I put really close together talent-wise, so I would not be surprised either way. Then we got War Whales versus Buy Forever, and this one, I almost talked myself into picking the upset and going with Buy Forever because I think I got them motivated last week. You know, I bet against them. I had sort of given up on my Dark Horse clan, and then they turn around and get a nice win over Bada Bing. So I think maybe they're fired up. Maybe they're trying to make a move, and I do think that War Whales is prime to slip up. Again, I think it happens to everyone. It's so hard to bring your A game every weekend, every time, and I think that you see it happening to clans across the league. Upset, and we'll talk about a few of those in a little bit. I think maybe it's almost their time. Nothing against those guys. Obviously, they're an absolute powerhouse, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Again, I was heartbroken so many times the first few weeks by my boys at Buy Forever. I just said, no, I got to stick with War Whales. But let me say this. In the back of my mind, I can see this upset happening. I really can, but I just couldn't bring myself to actually circle Buy Forever, so I'm going War Whales on this one. Next is In North Remembers versus Immoral Thieves. And wow, Immoral Thieves last week, and seriously, putting a win over Spartan's Legacy, probably one of the bigger upsets that we've seen so far, and it just crazy. I mean, beating them by 4 stars. It wasn't like a 1-star or a tie or anything like that. A convincing win. So Immoral Thieves just really, I guess, fired up. They had that loss in week 3, but wow, they just sort of bounced back super strong. And honestly, it's a sign of a really good clan. When you see them, get defeated, and Elite Gaming taking them down in that close war, and instead of just sort of withering up and having dissension or problems in the clan, they come back stronger than ever. So I think I have to eat my words on Immoral Thieves. Really impressive last week. I'm going to pick them this week over North Remembers. Those guys are on a roll. And then we come to Spartan's Legacy, who suffered that loss at Immoral Thieves' hands against a Bada Bing clan. Now, sort of the same situation. This is, I feel like last week was Spartan's Legacy week. It just wasn't, they just didn't have a good performance. They got beat, but we know how good they are. We've seen them week after week perform really, really high levels. So I'm sort of looking for them to do the same that Immoral Thieves did last weekend, and that's bounce back super strong and get a convincing win over Bada Bing clan. But we'll see. Again, so it's a true test to see how they react from that war. So we'll see how it goes. Killer Bunnies versus OneHive 2.0. This is a close one, I think. This really is. I could see it going either way, but I went back to just sort of that momentum that I talk about. OneHive taking a pretty rough beating from War Whales last weekend, and Killer Bunnies getting the win. So I just sort of thought, man, these guys are closely matched. I think they're in the same sort of skill category, but I'm going to give the nod to Killer Bunnies, as bad as I hate to do it, because I like the guys over at 2.0. But it just seems like they're a little bit off right now, so I'm going to go ahead and bet on KB. The Swarm versus Reddit Alchemy. And my understanding, and guys, I apologize for not being completely up to date, that this is another one that's going to be a replacement. Reddit Alchemy, last I heard, was withdrawn from the CWL, which is completely unfortunate. Hate to hear that, but I think you're going to see the Swarm versus someone else, and I apologize. I'm sure it'll be a million times in the comment telling me how dumb I am, and I should know that, which is true, but regardless of who they bring up, it's tough to come in and take on a clan like the Swarm. I mean, it would be one thing if you had some of those guys that were 1-3, 3-2, something, or 2-3, something like that. That maybe didn't have quite the confidence that a clan like the Swarm does. That could come in and compete. But whoever they put up against there, I would bet the Swarm anyway. So I'm going with the Swarm. War and Glory versus North Watchers. And War and Glory taking a close defeat last week to Dark Looter Z, but honestly, Dark Looter Z super strong. So that is not, losing to 1 star to those guys in my book does not lose you much stock in my book, and we'll talk about that more next week, depending on how they do in this particular war. But man, War and Glory, super strong clan, and I'm going with them over North Watchers. But good luck to both clans. Don't sleep on North Watchers. They're a good clan themselves, and they could show up and give them a run for their money. Reddit Omega versus WHF. And man, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to go against WHF 2 weeks in a row and pick Reddit Omega just because of the previous 4 weeks. Reddit Omega super strong. Obviously did take that loss, but it was a crazy one. It really was. It was a super close war. And so I don't think that they're, something that they're not firing all cylinders or anything like that. It's just a matter of, I think they're the stronger clan right now. But WHF made me eat my words last week. They could do it again. It could happen. But, I don't know. It's going to be, Reddit Omega, I'm sorry, I said they took the loss. They did not take the loss. They tied North Watchers. I'm sorry, I corrected myself there. Tied North Watchers. So not that they took a loss, but they did not have the best performance last week. That's what's in the back of my mind. I apologize. But WHF getting that win over Reddit Alchemy, making me eat my words. But I'm going to have to bet against them once more. Don't hate me. I know Powerbang will be here to remind me that I was wrong about last week, but I'm going to try them one more time. Maybe they'll get them fired up and they'll get the win. But Reddit Omega over WHF. And the last one, guys, Dark Looters Z versus Tactical Inc. Honestly, I think this is one of the, and this is nothing against Tactical Inc. It's just one of the easier picks for me, at least, of the week. I think Dark Looters Z super strong, on a roll, hard to stop right now, and Tactical Inc. has had their troubles. Not that they're not had some good wars, they obviously had, but coming off another loss to the Swarm last week, I think they're going to have their hands full with the boys from Dark Looters Z. So I will give them the nod. Again, guys, sorry for the delay. Sorry that my cohorts are not here to throw in their picks, but we will hopefully pick back up next week as everything calms down, the traveling stops, and we are back on track and have another one for you guys. Again, look out for next week for some stock picks and for possibly, don't say I promise, because I'm not promising, but possibly some coffee and Clash over the weekend. So good luck to all the clans. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Until next time, Jake from OneHive doing my best to help you guys suck less.